Hello everyone, this is Neon. Welcome to Impromptu English with Neon. Today I am going to read another of my written pieces which is to be published very soon. So the title is A Million Millipedes. I wrote this piece as a first year undergrad student at Bragg, which means 5 years ago. I used to travel by rickshaw from Shahjatpur to Gulshan 1 and then I would walk to the campus in Mohakali. On the way, I used to see hundreds and hundreds of millipedes. Yes, hundreds and hundreds of them, no kidding. They were cleaned up after a few months, but they were indeed there. Alright, let's go. A million millipedes. No, they don't really have a million feet. I guess million is just a figure of speech, like the interjection we use when we want to convey to others the incredulity of a huge sheer amount. Some examples. This job is a piece of cake. I've done this a million times. Oh, are you worried about Joseph? Joseph is a pro. He's been in a pickle like this a million times and prevailed 1,000,001. I'm telling you, there's like millions of cockroaches roaming in the kitchen. That's why I don't even get out of my room to charge my phone after midnight. No kidding. Although that timid person with katsareidophobia said, and I quote, "No kidding," I must beg to differ. He possibly, logically, literally can't have meant millions of cockroaches, even in some grossly exaggerated and, dare I say, creative dream scenario. If there had really been a million or several million bugs loitering in the infinitely big kitchen, because imagine the sheer girth of the room to house such a gargantuan amount of cockroaches. The question remains, would the individual be able to count, or let's say estimate, a million or more bugs of terror? More importantly, would the person in question be mentally stable enough after such a heart attack inducing sight of his fear factor to come up with a wild estimation of the quantity of the horrific creatures? The point I'm clearly trying to make here is that words like millions, billions, gazillions are generally hyperbole in order to make a point. With that said, when I say million, I mean it. I mean 10 lakhs, which is 1 followed by 6 digits. When I say that on my way to commuting to university that I see a million millipedes, some dead and some crawling, I mean that I see a million millipedes, dead or alive. You may ask me how on earth I see millipedes, not to mention a million of them, on the way to Mohakali from Gulshan 1. Actually, that question I have myself. Then you may probe for details on what kind of a route I take to reach the university, visualizing in mind the most jungle-like pseudo-forest path, the kind of shortcut you see in racing games, possible in a city. No, the road is as urban as can be, it being a footpath on a main road. A main road, a highway. Despite all that, the road being not at all foresty, millipedes upon millipedes loiter on the pavement. The walk is not a short one. It takes around 10 minutes to traverse the millipede-infested path. Forgive me, all you joggers, but a 10-minute walk is stretching the limit of what people in our country consider quote-unquote walking distance. I have received flack from many a friend because I would rather walk than waste 30 taka on a rickshaw ride. It's not that I'm miserly, I like spending for my friends and family. It's just that I would feel bad and, more importantly, weak since I'm a gym goer, spending time for a 10-minute walk that would get rid of the drowsiness before morning classes anyway. Besides, how could I miss being awed by a million millipedes? Here's a shameful fact about me. Bugs bug me. I particularly hate cockroaches, hence the allusion to the example at the beginning. Don't get me started on how much flying cockroaches horrify me. Flying cockroaches. Believe me, a shiver went down my spine upon writing this. My fear factor scale for a millipede wouldn't compare to that of a cockroach or a spider, but I would still not want to touch one. In fact, I take care of not stepping on them on the path of a million millipedes. Yes, that's the name I have given that route. Even for the dead ones, I carefully pace myself so as not to get millipede blood or ooze, on my shoes. Perhaps because I am so cautious about stepping on them is why I have noticed the massive number of carcasses of the bug. Now that I think about it, it is a wonder why nobody else has noticed them. No, that's a false statement. Of course, other people must have noticed. It is just that nobody's significant enough, like a cleaner. Come to think of it, who is it that cleans public pavements? Or a politician eager to make the city as clean and fresh for the upcoming election has noticed enough to bother doing something about it? For all of that, maybe it is fine that a home for the millipedes exists in such an unforested area. Yes, that is a coinage by yours truly, and also a frequented area as a footpath. It represents the dream of every marginalized, repressed, stomped over creatures. See what I did there? That no matter how much they say that you can't do it, nothing is impossible. Yes, it is not impossible for a million millipedes to attempt to live in such a crowded area, but is also quite inevitable for the bulk of them to be squashed under sandals, shoes, boots, sneakers. Then again, is it not true for all dreams we are conditioned to have through media and literature? Success stories are indeed possible and attainable through hard work, drive, and dedication. However, dumb luck, social class, financial possession, reality, it also plays a major factor. Not every college dropout can be Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. The chances of success for general people are slim, just like the chances for a million millipedes to survive on a footpath. Some thrive, but all crawl. Thank you, everyone.